Mike's Daily Podcast.
episode 1176. Yes, 76. The birth of our nation. 1176. What? I've just been told now that was 1776. What? That's history. It's Mike Matthews here at Cafe Anyway, located
Mike's Daily Podcast.
somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. Today we hear from Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, the Brewmaster, and the fabulous segment.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
A fabulous segment called the FM Project, which stands for Fascinating Material. Look at that. I think I was an Imperial Stormtrooper one day, and then I got better, and then I saw Renee Zellweger. She's all over TV now because of her
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Bridget Jones' Diary. I think she looks great. You know, people always made fun of her squinty eyes,
Mike's
but I think
Daily
she's aged well.
Podcast.
She's around my age and she's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think she's yeah. So she may only ever be super popular for her Bridget Jones character, whatever. She's carved a niche out in this world. What was her other big movie? The one with the, and then, oh yeah, Jerry Maguire. That's it. She was in that. Remember that? You had me from Hello, or you had me at Hello, which was bizarre because then she married Kenny Chesney for a couple months. They were married. That caused a bunch of questions about Kenny Chesney's sexuality for some reason. And Renee Zellweger married him. Oh, and he had a song that was popular way before they got married called You Had Me From Hello that was popular on the country charts. If you didn't know that. If you're not privy to the country charts. By the way, I host a country internet radio show.
Supposedly tricking people or inducing them or not really being upfront as to what they were doing.
No, I'm totally being upfront and not tricking people. It's true. I do a internet radio country show on the weekend, on Saturday and Sunday. It's basically, if you're on the East Coast, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., and on the West Coast, it's 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's how that works. Look who just walked in. Hi, Mike. It's Benita, the rodeo queen. How's y'all doing?
It's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player, tell you what.
What?
I am so happy that we are on Pacific time.
Why is that?
Well, we can get up later than the rest of the country.
Well, actually, we do get up later, but that doesn't mean we get any more sleep.
What?
Yeah, it means that because of the time difference, we just get up. It's all kind of held when you're traveling from one side of the country to the other. But that's America, isn't it?
That's my line. That's America.
Benita, how are you? Mark, I hate Windows. The program, the computer thingy? No, Mark. Yeah, I hate that too, but I hate Windows. Interesting. A lot of Californians hate Windows, I've discovered. When I moved back to California in 2009... Oh, look who else just walked in. Oh my gosh, I just realized something. As you walked in, Brewmaster. Ha! Yeah, I just realized that today is the... What is it? I'm doing the math in my head... And that's how fast I can do math in my head. Blah, 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 carry the one. It's 7 years since I moved back to California from Alabama. 7 years. Woo, what? Yeah. It was on this date, September 15th, that I arrived back here in California with my then ex-wife. Well, she wasn't my ex-wife then. With my then wife. That's what I meant to say. And her brother welcomed us at the San Francisco airport with a sign saying, like, welcome home. And we've lived here ever since. Now she and I don't live together, but whatever. We're here in California. We've been here for 7 years, and it's been an interesting ride. I love the Bay Area, even though I can't stand the traffic. I can't stand the people driving crazy. And now I find I'm driving through yellow lights. I used to never drive through yellow lights, but here, if you stop, if you see a yellow light and you slow down, you're going to get rear-ended. That's how it works here. People are like, go, go, go! And if you're not going, you're getting honked at. So, and some people drive. This lady on Saturday, I'm trying to get to my other job, my part-time job in Pleasanton, or Podcaster Valleyton. And this lady was driving in Podcaster Valley so slowly. And then she would just hit her brakes for no reason. So, at that point, you just got to honk. You just got to lay down on the horn.
Mark, I like that horn sound effect.
It's great, isn't it? It comes from a Tesla. Just want to say, Dr. Clannon in Hayward, I think his dentistry is dentistry. He's a crook. And I'll tell you why. It's not just annoying that for a teeth cleaning, even though I had dental insurance, it cost $400. And this happened, about 7 years ago when I first moved back to California. I found him. And then I made the mistake of going back to him this year because I still had Anthem dental insurance, thinking it would, pay for it. No, just an exam cost like $120 in January. Then I got another dental exam 2 days ago with a not Anthem dental insurance, but with Delta Dental, and it cost me nothing. Dr. Clannon, I don't know if he's doing it or Anthem's doing it, but somehow he's a crook. And he doesn't return calls, and he was like making stuff up. He told me all these things wrong with my mouth, with my teeth, and stuff in my mouth. And then I talked to this lady, this wonderful Dr. Olga looked in my mouth, did a complete checkup. She said, "Oh, you've got 2 things wrong, that's it. Not these hundreds of things wrong that Dr. Clannon found." So he's a crook, don't go to him. That's my Yelp review. And that brings us to the segment called...
Why the hell did I Yelp that?
Wow, we haven't done that in forever. I go, why do I Yelp when I could Yelp on my podcast? Why do I give Yelp all that free content? I need the content for my show, dang it. Hey, I watched The Lone Ranger, which the music behind us is music from the movie The Lone Ranger. No. But there was music behind us, if you didn't notice. If you did notice, I guess you've listened to this podcast for the first time and just noticed it. I don't know. But Lone Ranger with Armie Hammer and Johnny Depp. It's been playing on regular TV for a while, or just to fill up time on a weekend on a cable channel nobody watches. And I saw it on, I'm like, I'll sit through a little bit of this. I can see where it's really offensive to Native Americans. I can see where it's offensive to everyone because it was just the same generic action movie crap that we've seen over and over and over again. And But what is it about modern Wild West movies that try and go for that kind of action movie style? Sort of, that they've had difficulty with, like Wild Wild West, Will Smith one. People either love it or hate that movie. I kind of like the steampunk angle of it. And you've got the Kenneth Branagh character, the villain, with that weird beard, and his completely computer generated, everything is steampunk. He's this master inventor. He's got a spider machine that he walks around in. And if you watch that movie now, it's so old. Because the computer graphics, they threw a lot of computer graphics in it. And you kind of go, wow, they've come a long way since then. But I don't mean to continue this review, my absolutely useless review.
Mike's absolutely useless review.
Hey, I finally got to use that sound effect. So why don't Californians like light? Why do we want to? I had a guy tell me, oh yeah, I sealed up the windows in my house because I needed more shelf space. and the sun bugs me. Well, then why are you living in California if the sun bugs you? Gosh. You need to get out of California for a while and realize how great this place is with the sun and everything, then move back. Then you'll love the sun. People pay a premium to be here with the sun. We don't pay a premium to get stuck in the traffic and have to honk at a lady going so slow or almost get rear-ended because we're not going fast enough through a red light. Or have to deal with the crazy dentists with strange Scottish Welsh last names in Hayward. I don't understand. And one other thing I don't understand, there's a guy I work with at the station in Pleasanton, or Podcaster Valentino, named Dalton. There's a lot of uns in this story. And he's new to radio. Very smart, brilliant kid. And it's interesting, his view. Now, I don't know if it's just his view or if it's the whole millennial view or what. Because he's in his early 20s. And he, like that sentence I just said, I said a in there. I fit an in that sentence. Some people use a lot of uhs. I've never been a big fan of the word as a, what do they call it, a self-modifier or self-adjuster. It was some term we used back in communication studies classes back at UCSB. It's a word we use when we can't think of another word at the moment, so we just say The only problem is we've heard so many uhs in our life, we get sick of hearing it, and when you start noticing it, it becomes very distracting. So Dalton heard a little bit of the show that I did with Marco and the Marco Minute, and he heard a bunch of uhs in there, and he said, oh, I would have edited all those out. And he tells me he spends about 6 hours editing his podcast. He does a sports podcast with his friend. He edits out all the uhs, all the breaths. I'm like, dude, you have that much time? When people listen to a podcast, don't they want to... You want to have the uhs and the mess-ups. They let you know that I'm doing this for real, and I'm not stopping the tape. I'm letting you know this is like a live... We're basically live right now. You're hearing this maybe a couple hours, a day, several years later. But this is how things are. You are getting a little time capsule of this moment. In fact, we're going to get to some interesting, timely stuff in a moment with the FM project, but I just thought that was interesting. He wanted to edit everything out. I'm like, where do you find the time? So I don't know where he got with that. He's just out of school, and that's radio class. Maybe they have him edit a lot. Maybe that's his homework. But Dalton, you don't have to edit that much. Just letting you know. Oh wait, he's not hearing this. He never listens to the show. Whatever. Great kid. Where are we? Oh, Benita was about to leave. Yeah, Mike, I gotta go. I hope you don't edit this out. Bye, I'm being edited. No, too lazy to edit you out, Benita. Mike'sDailyPodcast.com. Go to that website to help support the show. Click on the Amazon link. Buy whatever it is you're going to buy, and that helps us out. That's a great way to support the show. Also, there's the PayPal. You'll get a special greeting from all the Cafe Anyway characters if you do that. And there's the podcast picture. Speaking of which, today's podcast picture.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Speaking of Alabama, one of the funnest things I got to do in Alabama, and funnest is a word, is I got to go to the Gulf Shores in Alabama. That's that little tiny tip of Alabama that touches ocean, touches a huge body of water. And you go down there and you get to lay on the beach and whatever. But my ex-wife and I, we went in the middle of winter. We went actually around Christmas. And that was the look. That was the kind of the gray sky. But the beach was completely empty. Kind of reminds me of that Don Henley song. Nobody on the road, nobody on the beach. I feel it in the air. The summer's out of reach. Empty lake, empty beach. The sun goes down alone. I'm driving by your house. Don't know if you're not home. But I can see you driving. Deadhead sticker. So that's it. You can see that picture at Mike'sDailyPodcast.com, and all the past podcast pictures are there, as well as a BB gun attack going on in San Jose. What? Why do I leave that TV on while I do the show? It's so distracting here at Cafe Anyway. But anyway. Anyway. Oh, and all the past interviews too. They're at Mike'sDailyPodcast.com. Anyway. FM project.
The Fascinating Material Project.
If Donald Trump is elected president, will he and his family permanently serve all connections to the Trump Organization, a sprawling business empire that has spread a secretive financial web across the world? Or will Trump instead choose to be the most conflicted president in American history, one whose business interests will constantly jeopardize the security of the United States? That's a question asked by MSN News and Kurt Eichenwald. Throughout his campaign, the Trump Organization, which pumps potentially hundreds of millions of dollars into Trump's family's bank account every year, has been largely ignored. Oh, but the thing that Hillary's got, that foundation's been looked at under scrutiny. As a private business, its business partners and investors are hidden from public view, even though they are the very people who could be enriched by or will further enrich Trump and his family if he wins the presidency. A close examination by Newsweek of the Trump Organization, including confidential interviews with business executives and some of its international partners, reveals an enterprise with deep ties to global financiers, foreign politicians, and even criminals. All the same things they're saying about Hillary's organization. Although there is no evidence the Trump Organization has engaged in illegal activities, it also reveals a web of contractual entanglements that could not just be canceled if Trump moves into the White House and his family continues to receive any benefit from the company during or even after his presidency. Almost every foreign policy decision he makes will raise serious conflicts of interest and ethical quagmires. So get ready for that if he's president. And then Donald Trump was cut off, chastised, and then heckled after he attacked rival Hillary Clinton during what was supposed to be a speech on helping where the government had failed the people of Flint, Michigan. This also MSN News and the Associated Press, and a story by Jonathan Lemire. Mr. Trump, I invited you here to thank you for what we've done in Flint, not give a political speech, said Reverend Faith Green Timmons, the pastor of Bethel United Methodist Church. The Republican nominee quickly stopped and said, "Okay, that's good. Then I'm going to go back to Flint and its water crisis that had sickened its citizens." But that interruption seemed to embolden those in the sparse crowd. One woman shouted that Trump had used discriminatory housing practices in his buildings, causing the celebrity businessman to respond, "Never, you're wrong, never would." Trump abruptly ended his speech. "Okay, I'm done, bye," which had lasted only 6 minutes. More heckling followed him out. Oh, that's gonna be good video. I'm gonna put the video right here. No, I didn't. The visit was part of the campaign's effort to persuade voters that the celebrity businessman can appear empathetic and presidential in a crisis. Trump also has his eye on a good showing in the industrial Midwest, though polls have him down in Michigan, which last went Republican in 1988, as we go outside a cafe anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. Next show, it's going to be the wonderful Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. But for right now, I gotta go because I'm getting heckled like crazy. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday or whatever day you're listening to this. Mouth.
It's pretty good, Mike. You're pretty fast on that button. Faster than I am keeping up with the stories.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com.